I'm really hoping I'm in focus. I've already filmed this whole video yesterday and I was not in focus. That's okay. So welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't made a video like this in a very long time. I'm pregnant and it has made it, I'm tired. It's hard to finish a book. It's been really hard to enjoy a book, and it is May and I've only read 7 books and I wanted to have like 40 books read by now, but that's okay. When I started the year, started my reading challenge for the year, I was like 100 books. I'm gonna read 100 because last year I was 6 books short. I can do it this year. And like a month into my pregnancy, I was like, okay, let's lower it to 75. That seems more realistic. A few more months go by and I was like, okay, let's set it at 50 and just see how many I read. I thought, I'm going to be pregnant. I'm going to be on the couch so much more. I'm going to have so much time to read. That's not how it works because you're so tired. But school does end in 2 weeks, so I'm hoping to have so much more time to read where I'm not like working and coming home and like I'm too tired to read. Because normally I would work all day, come home and like read until I went to bed. I watch TV and lay down or nap until bedtime. So I thought it would be fun to make a just books I've read recently video. I will say I have not read a 5-star yet this year. I so hope I'm in focus. I'm like checking the viewfinder. I'm not filming this for a 3rd time. I do think being pregnant has made me a more picky reader a little bit. I feel like I judge books a little bit stronger being pregnant. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I've DNF'd books because I'm just like, this is a waste of time. And I don't usually DNF a lot of books. And I think I've also been afraid to read books that I'm really excited to read because I'm afraid my pregnancy brain is going to judge it too hard and I'm not going to like it. And I don't know if that's normal. Like, pregnancy just changes your brain a little bit. So I've read 7 books. So let's talk about them. The first one that I read, I listened to, and that's Cinder by Marissa Mayer. And I also read the second book, Scarlet by Marissa Mayer. Now, Cinder is a futuristic reimagining of Cinderella, and it focuses on a cyborg mechanic, Lynn Cinder. She lives in New Beijing, a city facing a plague and lunar conflict, and her life intertwines with Prince Kai, who seeks her help fixing his android. Cinder, ostracized as a cyborg and a servant, must uncover secrets about her past and fight for the future of Earth. It wasn't a bad book. I actually enjoyed it when I first started the book. I'm not a huge retelling person. I just heard really good things about it from Catherine Karas. I think she's read this a few times, so I wanted to try it out, and it was on Kindle Unlimited. It's not a bad book. It was interesting. It was a lot darker than like the Cinderella story, and I think it just felt a little too eerie for me. The longer I read it, the more I just kept getting this eerie feeling, and I enjoyed it less and less. I don't think it's a bad book. I gave it 4 stars and thought, let me continue the series. All of them at the time were on Kindle Unlimited, so I read the second one, which is Scarlet, who I think is Little Red Riding Hood. I think that's who it's supposed to be because every book is like following a different princess and all of their stories intertwine. I disliked the second book. I gave it, what did I give it? I think I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars and just lost interest. I decided I don't want to continue this series and waste my time on a series I just think is okay. I do think that this is a series that people would really like and do like. I mean, this is an older YA series that I think is very loved. I just didn't love it. The next book that I read was The Final Scene by Steph Nielsen. I think Jan here on YouTube really liked this book. I think that's why I started reading it. This book is about Brooke, who gets abducted and is taken to this cabin along with other people that have gone missing, that have been abducted, and they are all given a role that they have to play out of their captor's like life. Very weird, but they have to always like stay in character, and so they're like reenacting her life like over and over and over again, I think. And if a character dies, then they have to replace a character. So we're following this group of people that is trying to escape. And some people have been there for like a really long time, and our protagonist like just got there and is trying to figure out like why we need to leave. I didn't like our characters. I didn't care about any of them. That was my issue with this book. I thought the concept was cool, like their captor has issues and wants them to reenact her life, and that was weird. Because like some people would play parts that were like really young, or like play her father, like it's odd. But I just didn't like them. They kind of annoyed me, and that's why I gave it 3 stars. I just kind of wanted to finish it and move on to a different book. I almost felt like this would make a better movie. Then I read a book that I was so excited about for so long, and that is Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. I had a lot of issues with this book. In this book, a newly engaged couple is going to this cabin, but soon like they start hearing noises outside and like screams of animals, cries of children, and Felix starts to hear his fiancée Faye talking back to these whatever's outside. My issue with this book is that the amount of time, the duration, like the time period that this book took place in, it just took too long. I wanted them to be like stuck in the cabin, to feel that claustrophobic horror, like that horror aspect of like being trapped. But what happens, this is a spoiler, they leave the cabin, like things happen and they decide, let's just leave. So they leave the cabin and go home, and then it's like that evil followed them there. It's like this folklore horror. And so they go home and the weird things keep happening there. But he just kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, he just kind of hopes it's going to get better. He doesn't want to have her admitted. He doesn't want her to get certain help because he's afraid that people are going to think she's crazy and that she's going to end up in a hospital. But the things that were happening to her, she should have gone to a hospital. That really bugged me. Like, she was throwing up like this black stuff that looked like a person, and she doesn't go to the hospital. I don't think that's realistic. I think if your loved one is going through these crazy things, you would try to seek help, even if like getting them help seems scary. You wouldn't just like ignore what's going on, just kind of hope it gets better. That bothered me. And then it just took forever for him to go back to the cabin. I just didn't get that claustrophobic feeling I wanted. I wish the book happened over a week or like 4 days, something like that, not over several months. It just felt like it wouldn't end. And the thing is, the like monsters, the what's outside was interesting. I liked that, but it just wouldn't end. And I think I just had such high expectations for this book. I gave it 3 stars. I just didn't enjoy it, and I thought I was gonna love it. Then I thought, let me read a romantasy. Maybe that will get me out of my reading slump, because this is over a few months. Like, this is not like in a week. I would read a book and be like, well, that sucked, and then like kind of give up. So I read Court of Winter by Krista Street. Like, this book has high ratings. It's a part of a series. It's a romantasy, and I like that it took place in winter, because when I read this, it was like cold outside. So I thought I wanted that atmosphere of like a winter court. But this book just felt very typical. You have the Fae woman who's taken by this like supposedly evil prince and they fall in love. That's the premise. But she is like a gardener. They live in a winter court, and she's able to grow things in the winter court, but there's like a sickness or a magic spell or something going on in this court where like crops are dying and people are starving. So he takes her to his court against her will. She doesn't know why she's going, and he sees that she has some kind of power. She starts working in the garden that he shows her, kind of hoping she would figure it out. He realizes that she has the magic to heal the land, and that's what he needs her for. But it's just very typical romantasy of kind of enemies to lovers, but like they fall in love so fast, kind of. It just wasn't very good. I finished it. I almost DNF'd it, and I decided to finish it, but will not continue the series. And I don't think it was bad. Like, if you haven't read a lot of romantasy, then that might seem really good, but I've just read others that are so much better. Then I read The Martian by Andy Weir. Another book I was really hoping to love because I already took it down. Sorry, baby. Batsy was using this to lay on. I loved Project Hail Mary. I thought this was such a brilliant book. Like, it's so smart. There's so much like science in this book, and like so many things you don't understand. Like, so much probably went over my head, but I loved this book. It was so cool, and I just felt like immersed in this book. This one I found boring, and I think it's because we're following Mark Watney, who's been left behind on Mars on a mission, and this book is about him trying to survive on Mars, which is kind of interesting, and him trying to work with NASA to get him back to Earth. But I think the fact that it's just him on this planet, I found boring. Like, he's talking to himself, or he's, logging everything that's happening to him. But I didn't really like him that much, and I found it kind of boring. Like, I wanted it to end. But I know that this is like, it's won awards. I mean, they made a movie out of it. I enjoyed the movie more. It just was not as good as this book. And this one is like earlier writing than this one. I thought this one was more interesting. I liked the science more in this one. And our protagonist, I liked his journey more than this guy. And he's not the only character in this book. There is another being that we learn about, and they form like a relationship, like a friendship. And I really liked that. I thought that was super interesting in this book, learning about that other thing. So this one I loved so much more. I gave it 3 stars. Like, I don't regret reading it because I feel like I've just had to read it before I saw the movie. I like Andy Weir's writing. Oh, I'll take that sticker off later. But it just wasn't my favorite. It was okay. It was okay. Now, I'm going to talk about a book that is very, very loved. If you love this book, or you're reading it, skip. Because I'm going to spoil this book, okay? So I'll like put a number, or I'll put like a chapter for this portion, because I don't want to spoil this book for anyone if you have not read it, or like my sister who's currently reading it, so I don't want to say anything to ruin it for her. So skip like now. Okay. I think this was a very bad book. I did not enjoy this book. I could not wait for this book to end. I don't know what happened with Rebecca Yarros, that each book, in my opinion, remember, this is all my opinion. I know so many people love this book. I'm sorry, my watch keeps going off. So many people love it, and I thought it was bad. Like, I loved Fourth Wing. I have 2 editions of Fourth Wing. I don't know why they're split up. And then Iron Flame I had issues with, but didn't think it was a bad book. I think this is very bad fantasy writing. My first issue is that at the beginning of the book, for like a third of the book, I was so confused. And I know I read these a while back, but I should not have been that confused, and I know that other people have the same opinion. Now, before I give more of my thoughts, I did not watch anyone's review before reading this book. I wanted to have my own opinion and then see if people agreed with me. And some people do. People are saying that the reason it's so confusing is because it's high fantasy and it's just like, world building and really good writing, and I disagree. I think she just became very info dumpy and just gave us so many characters that we've maybe heard about once, and we're just like, who are these people? I fell asleep, I'm sorry. I don't know if she was trying to make this feel like, I feel like she was trying to really build this world, but just dumped it on us. I just felt like, who are these people? Like, we've never heard of them. There are too many characters that we don't know anything about. That's how I feel. My other issue is that at the end of Onyx Storm, Xaden is going to turn into a Venom. I hope I'm saying that right. And then in this book, he's like completely fine for the whole book. Like, he has a few like things that they see that are kind of wrong with him, but I thought it would have been so much more interesting if he turned into a Venom in this book, like fully, or it was like his downfall, like he couldn't be healed, and it was such a bigger part of this book than it was. Like, it was just like you almost forget that he's sick, kind of. I also am over their silly relationship, going from like book 1 where she doesn't trust him but obviously attracted to him, book 2 where it becomes very petty, like the relationship, and like jealousy, but she also doesn't trust him. And then this book, it just became so much spice, and I personally don't love like a lot of spice, and that just felt like what their relationship became. And like, I would read and I'd be like, really? Like, again? We need this again? And whenever she's talking about him, she's just like talking about how handsome he is and what she wants to like do or whatever. I thought their relationship just like didn't develop. It's not going where I want. I feel like my foot fell asleep again. There are books that you read where you can like feel the love between characters, and I feel like this is just like, I'm over it. Also, his mother being in this book for such a brief period of time felt so random. I was like, why put his mother in the book and then she's like out of the book and then that's it? It felt forced and random to me, and I did not like that. The dragons are cool, but there are just other books with dragons that I feel will be better. Like, I don't think the dragons are going to keep me in this series because I'm not enjoying our characters. I know she has a new signet and that everyone's really excited about it, but I don't care. I found myself just wanting this book to end. I don't think I'm going to continue this series as of right now. How strongly I feel about this book, I don't think I'm going to continue the series. And I hope that if you read this, that you loved it. I know I'm in the minority of people that don't like this. I just feel that people are wrong. Like, thinking that this is great fantasy. This is a romantasy that is not well written, in my opinion. So I gave it 3 stars. And I mean, it's a beautiful book. I was gonna have to read it because I loved the first one like everyone else. But I just think her books have gotten worse, and that she's become such a big author. Like, everyone is so excited about her books and they just feel so overhyped now. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion. I have not felt bad about DNFing books, and I think that might also be due to my pregnancy brain just not caring. I DNF'd. Okay, I don't think these are all of them because I feel like I DNF'd more. I DNF'd Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I was just not into it. Emperor of Flame and Thorns, which I feel like everyone was talking about and hyping up. Like, everyone loved it, by Marin Blackwood. There was too much spice, and so early on in the book. I didn't appreciate it. I also DNF'd Hollow Heathens, which I thought I was gonna love because I see everyone loving that book, but there was like, there were elements in that book that were a little too dark, like, now this is just like, I don't think most people would have an issue with this, but there was like some things that were happening that felt very evil. Like, I think there was going to be some devil worship, so I just didn't want to read that. There was like witches and stuff, and I think there was going to be some devil worship, and that's where I stopped, so. Oh, here are the other ones I DNF'd. I DNF'd Salt and Broom by Sharon Lynn Fisher. Within These Haunted Walls by Kit Lewis. And in all of these books, I did not get too far before I just realized I didn't want to waste my time with these books, that I was not meshing with them. But I'm currently reading From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. We have a very complicated relationship, but I felt like listening to a book that I've already read. I know what's going to happen. I just wanted that, like, comfort. When I read this book, I don't think this is a great book, by the way. I don't think it's very good. But I wanted to go back to that, like, time, that, like, space when I read this book, and I had a good time reading it. I just wanted that comfort. So I'm listening to that. And I'm also reading The Giver. This is my copy. I have a copy at work because I'm reading this book with my students. I think we only have 50 pages left, so I have to finish it before the end of the year. But this book really opened my eyes to what reading is and how you can, like, be transported to another world. And I hoped that by reading this to my students that I could inspire them to read, that this would open their eyes to the world of reading. I know some of them really don't like it, but I think a few of them are enjoying the book. So I'm almost finished with that one. But I have been in a reading slump, and I just haven't found the right book to get me out of it. I think what it's going to take is a good horror. Like I think I need to read a Darcy Coates or something that I just know will be good. I have a stack of books that I love looking at, like, they're so beautiful, books I haven't read, and I have my TBR cart that I know you can't see, but it's just overwhelming right now. I wanted to read 8 to 10 books a month and have just been trying to give myself grace. Like, it's okay if you don't. This is a part of my life that is, reading is just not a priority, or just not super possible right now. At least maybe in the summer it'll be better, but I want to continue to make videos and maybe do a TBR game eventually, but just bear with me. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself right now, and I know that there are other pregnant booktubers that are able to do this and read, like, more than me, but I just can't right now. I just can't read as much as I was, like, right before I got pregnant. And that's okay. That's fine. I just really want to find a book that will get me out of this slump. A book that I will enjoy, because I have not read a 5-star all year. And that's crazy. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you don't know what to comment below, you can comment the little open book emoji. Comments do help me out, or I'd love to hear from you if you have any recommendations for a book that you think would get me out of this slump, or your opinions on any of these books. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.